I want people to be ambitious. Most people in the country are ambitious, and so I'm not ashamed to say, look, I want to be on a team which has the opportunity to fix the country and to turn things around. Is it a dead cert? No, absolutely not. Look, it's in the balance, as it is for the country right now. We don't know what the future holds. You know how uncertain politics is at the best of times, let alone in the febrile world that we live in right now. I can't predict the future, but I can say this, that I do believe the next election is going to be very important because the 20 or 30 years that we've lived through now, and I'm not blaming one party or the other, I think it's the whole political class together has led to a situation where the economy has not really grown, people's wages have stagnated, everything from the potholes in the road to the NHS waiting list feels like it's going in the wrong direction. I've made an argument for a long time that immigration has been out of control and has had bad effects on people's lives.
Just like to point out to viewers,
we've got to
immigration's out of control. You know, I've said before, Robert Jenrick ain't a bit of me, and I'm not going to change that. He's stereotypical career politician through and through, and he does bring up some valid points about the state of the country and really who's responsible, and that is, well, all of them, for want of a better word. Quite how he's sideswiped from reform, from the Conservatives to reform, is going to do any good. We'll have to wait and see, but we'll talk about that later. Let's see what else he's got.
This around.
You were Immigration Minister. I mean, you were literally in the position where you could have done something about immigration. Yes, you let a lot of people in.
No, wrong. Wrong, Susanna.
And set up asylum hotels.
Both of those things are wrong, Susanna.
And,
right,
so you failed in your job.
No, well, let me finish.
Okay.
It's a bit of a silly argument because the way...
What's a silly argument?
Because you're saying that number of the...
And now you're
suggesting that the number of people who came in...
She's got him on the back foot here straight away, but she's about to get schooled in some facts and figures. At the end of the day, he was Immigration Minister in the Conservative Party, and he resigned on what he calls a point of principle, as we'll come up with later. And you've got a situation where he's jumped ship to reform. He's trying to tell everybody exactly what they want to hear, and in the hope that he'll get a seat when there's a general election later on. And, oh, look at me, everything's all fine and dandy. It don't work like that in the real world. And I've got some lovely pictures to show you right at the end of this as well. So let's continue listening and see where this goes.
Under my watch, Rose. Actually, the way it works is...
It was the worst year for small boats when you were the Immigration Minister.
Wrong. It was the year...
was the worst.
It was the year in which the numbers fell by a third when I was in office. The only minister under whose watch the numbers actually came down.
Small boats.
That's because we signed up the Rwanda deal, the Albania deal, which meant that we started to get people out of the country, create a proper deterrent.
So why did you resign?
Because it wasn't enough, Susanna. I worked...
Sorry, you resigned from a position where you could do something.
No, because
you couldn't do enough.
I made changes to the system. We got the number of small boats coming down by a third. We started to close the hotels, which were a total disgrace. 100 of them we got closed. I pushed Rishi Sunak to make changes.
All right, he's saying about total disgrace and all of that, but I'll tell you what is a total disgrace: the fact that they were in the hotels in the first place. You know, they come over here. We know the school. They shouldn't be allowed over here. They shouldn't be in the hotels. And the problem is, what none of these people are saying, you close the hotels, where are you going to send them? Where are they going to go? What are they going to do next? This is the whole argument I've been talking about on this channel for months and months and months. And as he said at the beginning of the interview, they're all in it together. You know, they're all in it up to here together. And there's no change in this. The problem is going to continue.
To legal migration, which take time to come in.
Right.
So the results you're seeing today are the fact that numbers are coming down. It's as a result of those changes coming to it. I mean, Ed, from your experience, you know that's how it works. You make the changes and then future ministers are the beneficiaries of that. But this is the important thing. I was not willing to win, or not able to win the ultimate argument with Rishi, which is that we had to hive out all of these human rights claims, end this merry-go-round of legal claims, leave the ECHR. And that was the only way in which you could detain and deport the people coming across on the small boats. End that.
Right. He's going on about the ECHR again, right? And this, we have a right constitutionally to protect our shores. We have a right to defend our realm. We have a right to a free and private life. And, we have human rights as well. They're given to us constitutionally. They're given to us under the Human Rights Act, all written by English in England, in this country. And they keep blaming the ECHR over and over and over again. And this is one of the problems, of course, with the ECHR. It's not that they're treated more importantly than us. It's that they're treated equally to us in that they're entitled to food, a roof over their head, money in their pocket, and safety. But the problem is, and what the ECHR isn't accounting for, all this, by the way, is the effect on that culture. With our culture, this is where the whole issue comes into, and it's all well and good in going, blah, 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 but, come on.
And so I did what I believe was the right thing, the honourable thing, which was to resign on a matter of principle, go onto the backbenches, campaign against, and even vote against the last Conservative government. So I've been honest about the challenges.
Britain was broken at that point. It was so obvious when you became Immigration Minister. Then after 1 or 2 months, you would have resigned on principle. What happened was you hung on for over a year. When you judged Rishi Sunak was going to lose, your personal ambition dictated to you you'd be stronger.
Ed Balls has got a point there, and that is exactly what's happening with all of these Conservative ministers are thinking, oh shit, my job's in trouble. And over they go. Let's go and have a word with our mate Farage. It's quite obvious that Tory 2.0 is going to win the next election. Boom. That's what's going on. So I'm sorry. I'm not getting this whole, I want to do this on a point of principle. I want to do that, blah, blah, blah. He said the other day, career politician, that is a big problem. As soon as you've got the Parliament Act of 1911, where these bastards started getting paid, it becomes a career rather than a calling. And it's caused so many problems. But let's have another look.
There's nothing wrong with that.
When I resigned from the last Conservative government, I thought that was the end of my political career. I had no idea that I would ever
there
do
you go.
Honestly, I never did.
I don't think you've ever done anything because you thought it was the end of your political career.
I went onto the backbenches and I voted against the government.
Can I just ask?
So he went onto the backbenches and he voted against the last government. So what he's trying to do through all of this, and I mean all of this, is justify why he's jumped ship. And talked about the immigration side of things, talked about the problems of the country. The only thing he said there, as I said, it's not a bit of me, so maybe I'm tarnished. The only thing he said there, right at the beginning, is the fact that they've all made this mess. It's all of their faults, not just the Conservatives, not just Labour. It's all of them collectively. It's been a complete balls up. And I think one of the issues as well is the fact that we are at the behest of the EU because we had all our rights signed away at some point over there. So whatever they say, we've got to do. What about Hungary, for example, doing this to all and sundry with the EU? I love that. That's the way we should go about it. I mean, this was in Sky News, and you can see there, Immigration Minister resigns over Rwanda. So that's when he jumped ship over what was going on with the Rwanda deal at the time. But what you have to understand, and I think it's very important, if you come here to this country, this is a country that has its own culture, its own way of doing things, its own laws, its own way of life. If you bring your way of life, your culture, your way of doing things over to this country, then, okay, you're going to bring those over. But you have to respect the way we do things, and you have to integrate with the way we do things. And that just simply isn't happening. It's just not happening. And that's the problem. Yet they keep coming and coming and coming and coming. And what about the hotels? What about the hotels? What's going to happen is the fact that they'll get closed down. All they're disgusting. These hotel owners get paid millions of pounds every year to put these people up, multiple years, in fact, a lot of the time. The places get wrecked, they get a revamp, and then they carry on later on. It's big business. It's been going on for, well, years. If you close the hotels down, they won't get slung out of the country en masse. They've got to go somewhere else. They have to go somewhere else. Where is that? Military bases? People's homes? Where? The other thing as well, which interests me with Robert Jenrick, which we'll finish up on. Do you remember, and this was during Joe Biden's term, where all of those people suddenly got flown here from Afghanistan, and it was all on the quiet. It was all on a shushy. We don't want anybody to find out about this until it's too late. Yeah, I do as well. So you import all of these people we know nothing about, where they're going, what they're doing, or anything of that nature. And then we get tweets like this. The thing is, the internet never hides anything. Pleased to welcome to Newark Mr. and Mrs. Sadat, who came to the UK from Afghanistan under the ARAP scheme, Operation Warm Welcome. So he can sit there and say, you know, it's all gone wrong, it's all not happening and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, he was as big a part of the problem as anyone else. Did he have any intention of trying to fix anything? Was he able to fix anything? No, I don't think so either. Is he going to fix anything in reform? No, I don't think so either. A reform going to be the answer? I don't think so either. What you have to understand very, very plainly is that the people you see on the media, being interviewed, in the parliament, everything like that, they're not the ones in charge. And the sooner people start coming to that conclusion themselves, the better it'll be. Anyway, thanks for listening. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave your comments, share my stuff. I'll talk to you soon. Toodaloo.